Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video here. So much to talk about. This one here is going to be another Discord Q&A. So first of all, thank you for posting all of your questions there. If you want to take part in these Q&As, then definitely go follow the Discord. The link is down below. We're like nearly at 1,800 members now. There's a big Walking Dead community there. We discuss things all the time, and yeah. But let's actually talk about episodes 13 and I guess going into 14 here, as well as some of the big Madison stuff that happened yesterday. So obviously, before we go any further, I hope you guys are all aware that this will contain spoilers for episode 13 of The Walking Dead. But let's jump into the first question here. So, do you think Madison returning has anything to do with the CRM? Yeah, this is going to be a big question. Obviously, yesterday we saw that Madison, I guess we already knew that Madison was returning, but we saw her first official scene. And, it is really interesting just because, like, obviously, if you look at the context of the scene, it does kind of seem like there's somebody who does have, I guess, kind of advanced technology, but I mean, it's not too crazy. It's just more of like you have a room, you have prisoners there and stuff. You have like this interrogation room. You have, you know what I mean? So is this the CRM or is this Padre? Because Padre also is very similar, where there are already a very well resourced community, right? And so I to me, it could be CRM related. Obviously, like that's going to be a big question that everyone's going to have, obviously. But personally, I don't really think so. I think, like, as of now, I'm more in the camp of, I think Madison was taken away by these Padre people, or it could be something unrelated. Honestly, Padre could be something else that we're about to find, but maybe just as a separate thing, Madison is a part of something else. Again, Padre could be the CRM, right? Like, that's one of those things, like we don't know what Padre is. Padre could literally be the CRM. From what we've seen so far, the whole thing with Padre is that it was something that the government planned, before the apocalypse, and in case of a doomsday scenario, they would resort to this. There was like this thing that happened, basically. And so maybe that's the Civic Republic. Like, that is also really possible. The Civic Republic has connections with the government pre-apocalypse. So, that is very possible. Maybe Madison's just been with them the whole time. But it's kind of, as of now, it is really hard to say, but I do understand why there's like so many comments on that. Like, people are just kind of generally wondering about that. Q&A, do you think Madison will bring Walker back to fear? As of now, I'm going to say no, unless they've actually worked something out. But as of now, I'm just going to say no, because it just kind of feels like everyone's kind of forgot about his character, So yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Do you think Ezekiel or Aaron will get shot by Sebastian, as both characters have reached their potential peak? Perhaps Aaron could take Comic Rick's death as his arm was cut off instead of Rick's. In terms of like that thing, I don't know how much they'll do of all of that. I don't even know if we'll get a scene like that in general in the very last episode, but I could see, Aaron dying for sure. Maybe Aaron dies by Sebastian. It's possible that they do change it up a little bit here. In the comic, what happens is, obviously, I mean, a lot of you guys probably already know, but Rick kills Dwight, and it's really shocking. But then later on, I think like 7, or not 7, there's like 6 issues, 5, 6, 7, 8 issues, or whatever the hell it was, after Dwight's comic death, Rick gets shot by Sebastian, and it was a really insane moment. I feel like because they're going to be ending everything differently here on the show, they might maybe combine that. So maybe it's literally just Sebastian who kills Aaron, right? I could totally see that being the case. Q&A, do you think that LEAH took the weapons and supplies in episode 13? That in episode 14 or 15 is going to be revealed that LEAH took it. And so yes, then Maggie would not let her go again, right? On the first part, it's possible. Yeah, I'll say that. It's possible that LEAH took the weapons, although she would have to be with a different group, and it depends on the amount of weapons, because if there's just a little bit, then yeah, obviously she could take that. If it's all in a vehicle, then maybe she just took the vehicle and left, right? But yeah, it's really hard to say, because it really depends on the amount. And that's the thing, there's a lot of cargo there that I want to know what's in that. I really want to know. Lance is transporting some cargo and weapons. There's a lot of weapons there. And so where are they bringing that, right? Is that Civic Republic related? They're making a big deal about this. Lance really wants to get this back. If this was just nothing, I think he would just let it go. And so I do think it's something. Obviously, it's something that's going to hurt him, and he doesn't want this getting out to people. So Q&A, do you think a main character will be killed off next episode? Ooh, this is an interesting question. So for episode 14, I'm going to say no. I think a main character dying in 14 would be a little bit too soon. Q&A, do you think that Negan and his new people will take down the people from Commonwealth that are killing Negan's new group? Will that cause Negan to be enemies with the Commonwealth? Yeah, that's actually one of the things that I do want to do a video on, Negan's perspective now of the Commonwealth is so different from everyone else's, right? Obviously, Aaron and Gabriel are probably more on Negan's side of things now because they also saw a lot of that. But yeah, he definitely does not like this place. Like, he definitely does not like this place at all. He likes the new group that he's with. I think he would like it if his whole group here could join the Commonwealth. That'd be amazing. But we're definitely in a place right now where it does seem like, yeah, when Negan does go to the Commonwealth, it's basically going to be trouble. I don't even think he's going to want to go. I think, like, obviously we know he's going to eventually get there, but he might be a prisoner when he goes there. Like, that's we'll have to wait and see, but I kind of see that being the case. Do you think Michonne will return before the end of the season? I'm going to say no. I don't think Michonne's returning. I mean, maybe they just really kept us under wraps, but I don't see anybody talking about that. There's been no questions about Denai Guerrero. Maybe because people just don't, everything's about Rick, right? Everybody wants to talk about Rick, which is, he's a big character. I'm not like shitting on that or anything like that. But in terms of Michonne's return, a lot of people don't talk about that. But I will say it doesn't really make much sense for her to return right now. I don't see in what capacity, just because you got to think of the future of the story here. And I'm just trying to think of how everything in general will play out later. And I think Michonne you want to save for the movies, right? Rick appearing here, it makes more sense because you're setting up the Rick movie. So you can do something there. Like, there's actual stuff you can set up. But Michonne left to go and find Rick. I think you want to see her for the first time at the end of the first one or the beginning or whatever, sometime during the second movie, right? I think that makes a lot more sense. Unless they want to do a Michonne spinoff, then yeah, I'm totally cool with that. Q&A, why do you think Sebastian is nodding at Daryl in the trailer like they're friends? Also, when do you think we'll start getting hints about the spinoff and why Maggie and Negan go to New York? I think Negan's new group will die, so he'll have no one to persuade him to stay. I think Sebastian's just kind of screwing with Daryl in that scene. He's just, Sebastian likes to troll people, and like, he knows that Daryl doesn't like him. So Sebastian looks at Daryl and he just kind of, he's nodding there and he knows like he's bugging Daryl. And in terms of getting hints for the spinoff, that's going to happen in part 3 for sure. Q&A. So the first one, was the cargo for the other thing the list of people? I actually really like this right here. And I don't know if it's exactly what you intended here, but I really do wonder what was in Lance's cargo. Because like, obviously we know there's weapons, there's a lot of weapons, but is the other part of it people, right? I think that could be a crazy reveal if they actually find people in there, and maybe Tyler Davis is there, right? Man, that could honestly, it would blow people away, but I could see that being a big reveal eventually. Maybe even LEAH's there, right? I don't know. It honestly, it really depends, because like, yeah, oh man, that's actually, I don't know if it would be LEAH, but Tyler Davis being in the cargo there, and Lance just like shipping him off to the Civic Republic like that, I think is insane. So, maybe obviously they would have like an outpost or a dropping off point or pickup location, I guess, at some point, maybe a few miles out from the Commonwealth, so nobody would really see what's going on. So maybe Tyler Davis was a part of that cargo. Because if you think of the timeline of things, it almost lines up. But yeah, I don't know. It's possible. I'll say that. It definitely is possible, but we'll have to wait and see. Q&A, if Aaron happens to die in episode 14, do you think Negan or Gabriel could take vengeance against Toby to avenge Aaron? And if Lance happens to take Dwight's comic book death, who do you think could kill him off? Well, on the second part, I don't think Lance will. I mean, if he did, who would kill him? I mean, anyone would basically kill him, but I don't see Lance dying right away. I think he's going to be around for a while. And if Aaron does die in 14, which I don't see, but if he does, yeah, I would totally see Negan or Gabriel. Actually, I'd probably see Gabriel, if anything, going on this insane revenge quest, right, to take out Toby and the Commonwealth. So, yeah, I don't think it's all that's going to happen, though, but if it did, yeah, that would be pretty crazy. Favorite moment from Fear the Walking Dead seasons 1 to 3? Well, I mean, there's a lot. Honestly, the first thing that comes to mind is just like the first episode, the very beginning, when things were just so normal. I really love that. That stuff was just so cool. Just to see the world normal and to see everybody doing their everyday, just normal things. And then you start to see people flooding the streets. You see like the news broadcast and stuff. All of that was so good. Q&A, how do you think Negan's reaction on seeing Rick after all these years, or I guess what do I think his reaction will be? Also, do you think we will see Negan in the movies? Is he going to play a huge role in taking down the Civic Republic or militia if this happens to be the storyline? Well, I think Negan's reaction to seeing Rick is just going to be like, honestly, I think he'll just be happy. I don't even really, like, I think the reaction to finding out is going to be the more exciting thing. I think Rick's reaction to seeing Negan come all this way to save him will be very, very different. And in terms of, do I think he's going to play a role in the movies? Maybe the third one. I think, like, maybe the third one. Q&A, will Morgan stay on Fear the Walking Dead and co-lead with Madison? Yeah, I definitely see that being the case. I don't see him going to a different show right now. I think they wanna keep that, you know. I think at some point it'd be really cool to maybe separate him from Fear and have him go to the movies. But I don't know. You know, Morgan does a lot for Fear, so I think he's probably going to stay for now. Q&A, what two characters from The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead would you like to see work together? Man, as of now, really nobody. I don't know. I'm really over the idea of the crossovers. At first, it was exciting when I thought it was going to be Abraham, and then we got Morgan, and I got kind of used to it being Morgan. And then the Dwight stuff came out, and it makes more sense to do Dwight, I guess, but it's just that he was going to stay there forever, and he's been there since then, and I don't know. So overall, I don't really want to see any other characters. You know, I don't want to see a crossover at all, unless maybe it's those characters going to The Walking Dead, but obviously The Walking Dead is ending this year, so I think, you know, in terms of crossovers, I think we're pretty much done for that. Q&A, so thinking about the main characters and getting spinoffs, which characters do you think would be a huge death for The Walking Dead based on if this was your own story? Okay, so if I had to choose, well, first of all, I would do things the way that they're doing. I would do the Negan and Maggie spinoff. I would do the Daryl and Carol spinoff. Would I announce it at this point, though? It is really hard to say. Honestly, I do kind of agree with it, though. And the reason why I agree with it is I do think it's more of a mindset thing, right? Like, you don't want people to not be interested in anything, right? You don't want people to just be like, yeah, I'm done with The Walking Dead. So if you're running a business and you're, you know, a television business, you're making this universe, you want to show people that there's going to be more afterwards. That The Walking Dead is ending, but there's going to be more. So you don't want people to get too sad about it all. So like, what, do you wait to announce the Daryl and Carol spinoff, the Maggie and Negan spinoff until after it's over? I don't necessarily agree with that, because I think doing that, people at that point are going to be so in the mindset of, okay, it's finally over. And then you announce the spinoffs, and then people are just going to be like, well, I don't know, I kind of ended it. I think I'm good. You know what I mean? Like there might be that fear there for some people. I think announcing it in the way they did, and again, that's just me. I'm probably going to be wrong about that, but that's just the way I look at it. So I think announcing the spinoffs like this, and because they do have so many plans for the future, and that's the thing, you know, keeping it a secret until afterwards almost confirms like that they're ending everything, which they're not. They want to expand this into something bigger. That's why they're doing Fear still. That's why they're doing Tales. That's why they're doing the Rick movies, and then obviously we have these two spinoffs. So I think announcing it when they did makes the most sense. So I'm overall on board with both of the announcements. Now, in terms of which characters would I kill off now because of that, like honestly, I would probably, oh man, that's the thing. It's really hard to say. There's not a lot of characters to choose from, right? There's not a lot of characters to choose to be killed off. And so I would have to go with like Aaron or Rosita. You could kill off Gabriel or Ezekiel or Eugene. Eugene, you know, for Eugene to be the big death of the last episode, I feel like isn't that crazy. Ezekiel, I guess, could work as well. The thing is with Ezekiel is everyone's expecting it. Everybody's been talking about it forever. So it wouldn't be so surprising. You know, it would just happen and people would be like, okay, you know, they might feel a little underwhelmed because they were expecting it so much. And in terms of Father Gabriel, again, that's another character that people have been thinking was going to die for a while now. So I would go with Rosita, or I would go with Aaron. You know, I think those are characters that would be really heartbroken over. And yeah, but I'm going to leave it here. Thank you so much for posting all of your questions, you guys. I hope you guys all enjoyed this one, and I'll see you guys in the next one.